Hi, and welcome to Chicks and Sticks Cigars and the Silver Screen. I'm so glad you guys joined tonight. This is going to be a really special show. Really special to me because I have been smoking these cigars for a while, a couple years, most of my cigar career, and love the cigars, but also really love the important message that this cigar company is trying to get out, and the fact that it's important to them to pay it forward, and they're doing it with something that they're very passionate about. It's an intense subject, but it is a real problem. It's an epidemic problem here in the world. And so I think it needs to be talked about, and it's really nice that they have a platform to do so. And I think that it's a way, you're going to find out that it's a way for you to kind of join in helping out with this problem while smoking a cigar. That's all you have to do. So, like I say, we have lots to talk about, so I am going to get us started. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. I am going to bring in our guests, Justin and Crystal of Chaffiot Cigars. I'm going to have them correct that if it was wrong. We just talked about it. Okay. Bring you guys in. Did I say it wrong? Or
no, you're wrong.
Chaffiot. Okay.
You're good.
Yeah. Chaffiot.
That was a really cool intro, by the way.
Thanks. My son filmed it. He's a filmmaker. He works in Hollywood.
Oh,
and
cool.
So he did it for me. We ran around Hollywood and
nice.
Yeah.
Really cool production. That was cool.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to get a cigar lighted, but welcome to the show. I'm really excited. I don't know why it's taken me so long to have you on this show because I've known you guys for a while. I've been smoking your cigars for, it's got to be 3 years.
Yeah, it probably has been 3 years, right?
Because I've only been smoking like 5, and I think I found you guys fairly.
You found us like right when we were starting to get going. Yeah, for sure. You've been supporting us since the beginning, and I hope you felt the same way. So thank you. Thank you. We love what you're doing, and it's been fun, so.
I love that you're wearing your shirts with the really cool logo.
Thank you.
I've got the retro old school one, and he's got the new. So, it's a good, conversation starter as far as like when people see shirts and go, well, what does that mean? And in the back of mine, it says until human trafficking goes up in smoke, and they're like, so. I'm glad you asked, So it's
that's such a good line too. So for people who don't know who are joining, you make premium cigars, and we'll talk a little bit about their cigars and what they have in their line. Yeah. But it's interesting that some of your cigars, and that's what caught my eye, are called See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and Speak No Evil.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And then you also have the one with the shield is My Brother's Keeper.
Right, Brother's Keeper.
Which I think is the first one that I tried.
That's the first one you had. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'm in my lounge, so I got customers. I got to say hi to you. You doing okay? Okay.
I was doing yard work all morning.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Anyway, that is catching. The names are catching. And so then I think when I bought the cigars, I got a nice little postcard with the cigars that talked about human trafficking. And I think that, so I saw, wow, these, I mean, it's not just like you're mentioning it, but you're involved. And I think that leading line that says, and probably the statistics are different now than they were, but it's like in the time that somebody would smoke a Robusto, 86 people have been forced into human trafficking. And let's not, let's make sure human trafficking sounds, it's kind of a kind way to say it.
Sure.
Let's remember that well, I don't know about most. You know the statistics more than me, but many of the people who are trafficked are children, and they're trafficked for prostitution and child pornography.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's epidemic.
Right. Human trafficking absolutely involves labor trafficking too, and that's a huge problem. Especially, I think Florida is one of the top, and California too. But and I think human trafficking, when you really talk about sexual human trafficking, that's like a whole level. And a lot of times with labor trafficking, there is sex trafficking involved as well. But when you really think about
labor trafficked or sexually abused,
sexually abused. So when you think about and again, you said it like that's a nice term is human trafficking. And I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and this is like I thought, with it being so much in the media and so much in the news and becoming like a popular topic, but she was under the impression that, people still get taken like the movie, never seen again, and that's it. And I'm like, no. Like people, especially kids that are trafficked, are actually trafficked in plain sight, and they go to school, they go to church, they get straight A's, and they're sold at night. And I still get goosebumps, but they're sold at night, which meaning like they are raped like multiple times a night, like every day. And this happens like in Brevard County, where we live, is one of the top communities in Florida. This happens, and it's like a sleepy beach town where like everybody like is super, and it's like there are that many buyers, that many traffickers, and that many kids being abused. What in the world? And she was like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, this is why we have to do this. Like, yes, this is crazy.
Well, I think what I was told too is that it's, I think the exchange of people often takes place in port cities. So I used to live in Portland, Oregon. It's real bad in Portland. It's bad in Seattle. I live in Long Beach. There's a huge port there. So the LA port, the Long Beach port. I think anywhere where there's a large port, is a huge area of where trafficking goes on.
Which we have a significant one in Brevard County too, a good sized port as well, where a lot of it's flowed through,
Yeah.
And vacation destinations, and we're 45 minutes from Orlando, but I mean vacation,
Miami.
Exploitation is huge. So being right on the 95 corridor and so it's just like
California, it's California, Florida, and Texas. So my state and your state are in the top 3, for trafficking in the country.
Well,
crazy.
Some of the largest ports too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know. Yeah,
I thought it was interesting. Before the pandemic, I managed a hair salon, and I'd worked there for years. And maybe a year or two before the pandemic came out, a law was passed in Long Beach. I think just the city of Long Beach. I don't think it was in LA County, but it could have been. But we got notice that we needed to put up posters that talk directly to a victim of human trafficking, and it was in like 10 different languages of what they should do if they're brought into a salon. So any industry that had to do with so this is talking about sexual trafficking, but any industry where they would take them to get their hair done, their makeup done, any grooming type of place, we had to put these posters up. And it was like, when I first got the posters, my boss was like, I don't know what that is. That looks ugly. I don't want that hanging up. And I said, sit down. And let me tell you what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then I told her, and she was like, oh my God, yeah. I said, we're going to put it in a frame and we're going to put it up.
Right.
And
awesome.
Yeah, it gives victims a way to know that they can approach you, what they can say, what they can do. And
yeah, no, in my work, so my 9 to 5 is I work for multifamily apartment developer. So we develop apartments, and we have signs up at all of our communities as well about signs for trafficking and the apartment complex, what to look for, what to do, the human trafficking hotline number. So like this day and age, I mean, you should have that up.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely should, because human trafficking is no stranger to any industry. I mean,
yeah.
Not,
I mean, and it is crazy. The rescue rate really is still like 2%. 2% actually get out, and it's because it's a well-oiled machine. They don't just there's
it's a lot of money behind it, I bet.
Layers.
It's almost probably more than drugs, because you can sell people over and over again. Once you use drugs once or twice, but the lifespan on someone in it being trafficked is only 7 years. So they really just use people and abuse people, and then that's it. So I mean, really being aware, and kind of just like, talking to people. If you see something, say something. Like if you see something off, it probably is. I've talked to a couple pilots actually that they have get some girls out because they saw something just really off, and they kind of reported it, and then they were able to help a couple girls that were being trafficked, across the line. So
yeah, you have a gut for a reason, use it.
It's true. That's so true, right? Like you just kind of go, something doesn't seem right.
It doesn't smell right. Yeah. So I know. But yeah, that's why you have the human trafficking hotline number. So just call it,
Well, everybody should have it in their phone. I will say, we should add it and put it in our phone, and that way, you can just have easy access instead of trying to go to Google and be like, oh, no, and they always say never try to intervene in the situation, because you can make it worse for somebody, but you should alert authorities if you do see something crazy. So
and if you don't know that number, you can just call 911.
Well, yeah,
just call 911 and say, this is what I think is happening.
So people know it's 1-888-373-7888.
Yes.
Or you can text help to 233-733. Either one. Yeah. Just so everyone knows who's watching.
Perfect.
Anyway. Hold it up so that way if they want to screenshot it.
Yeah.
See it.
There you go.
Yeah, and then they say to save it like under A in your phone. So if you needed to get to it really quick, then it's a quick go-to. And that
right there. Yeah.
Because even 911 doesn't necessarily know how to handle it. They're like, is there an emergency? Well, yeah, I mean, I think so. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I mean, maybe. And so they're like, well, call us back when you see something.
Well, this is my technique. When I call 911, I make it an emergency. Like, if you hem and haw, they're not going to show up. So I just make it like, say, this is bad. This is really bad. Like,
yeah.
I'd rather have them show up and be like, it's nothing than,
Preach.
Yeah.
I know.
But sometimes it can make it more difficult for the victims if they have just come in guns a-blazing. So they kind of, it's in there for that reason. They need to have, and they're working on even our area, special task force to be able to address it, because the average, I don't think now, maybe there's a little bit of training, but the average officer, like, they're just not equipped for those kind of things. And it runs layers. I mean, they use fear and coercion and all of that, like, at such a high level that, it's not like, oh, I'm being shackled and I can't get away. It's like, oh no,
they probably have a story.
Yeah.
This is my uncle. This, whatever.
Yeah. Fear of my family, or, or all kinds of things. So it's so
just a lot of psychological manipulation that, is, it's just too overpowering, and you really need special, skills to handle it. So.
Yeah.
So for labor trafficking, what are the most common jobs is it a lot of field work?
Yeah, like, I know in Florida it's actually a lot of the orange groves. Believe it or not, agriculture is really, really big. here in Florida. But yeah, any big like manufacturing, production, there's various industries, it goes on. But
even food and beverage, massage parlors,
restaurants is actually big too in South Florida. I remember hearing a lot of trafficking cases because, I don't know if you're familiar with the process, but like and the cartel is very involved in this, so the cartel will bring people, over the border, and they'll basically put this invisible fee structure over someone's head, like say, hey, you cross the border, you owe this amount of money for crossing. You want me to bring your family over? That's another fee. You want me to provide you shelter? That's another fee. You want food? That's another fee. Oh, I got you a job. There's a finder's fee for that. And they keep building these debt that doesn't even exist. So people are like constantly feel like they have to pay off this monumental, amount of debt that's not even there. And they just keep doing, forced labor for forever. So
and that's if they don't confiscate their visas and or whatever.
So,
of course. Basically, like they don't exist. Yeah. I mean, like nobody knows you're here. You can't. Who are you going to go to the authorities and do what? Like get deported, And so
there's a lot more of that happening than actual sex trafficking. But sex trafficking is definitely more sensationalized, in the media and whatnot. Like she said, it caught a lot of attention, but on the other token, there is another level of depravity, I think with sex trafficking that is, it's all gross. It's all gross.
Yeah.
But, when you talk about kids and sexual abuse and stuff, to me, it's just another level of gross.
Yeah.
So anyway.
You almost have to like compartmentalize it because like if you really think about what it is, like our human brains just can't even comprehend like what actually is happening. So, I mean, I even have like family members that they almost just can't even like talk about it or like whatever because it will keep you up at night. I mean, that's kind of how we even got started with the cigars and everything is like this is literally like you cannot once you can't unknow, but like now you can't just throw money at it and see what sticks. Like we got to have conversations, and when we started talking to people about it, we're like, people don't know. Like people really like don't like know. So we've got to do something, and that's kind of how Chaffiot Collection started. He wanted to do
so
cigars.
We picked cigars out of all things.
So, so the passion to do something on this issue came first, and then you were kind of like, what could we do?
Yeah.
And then the cigars came? Oh, see, I would have thought it was the other way.
I know.
He was smoking a lot of cigars at the time, and I was like...
I was really into cigars before we did this, but I was dragging her to the local lounge of Paradise Cigars. It was like 5 minutes away from our house, which was epic. Like you could walk there. So I was going there like 3 times a week, and then I finally, drug her there, got her. She smoked cigarettes, so turned her off to cigarettes on cigars.
I have upgraded my smoking. Hallelujah.
But to be honest, what you said is correct. Like I was really into cigars, but I've been interested and intrigued in how to help fight human trafficking a lot longer than I have been. So I started smoking cigars pretty regularly in like 2014, 15 in that time frame, and I just knew the big heritage brands, and I knew the Grapples and the Romeos, Juliets, and all the big ones. And then the local shop that I went to only carried boutiques. 2014 and 15, like he would not let any big name brands in. He just didn't do it. I'm like,
that's kind of how I am.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. You should be.
Yeah.
And I came in there and I was like, hey man, like, you have any Macanudos? You have any Ashtons? Like, or, trying to sound cool. And he looked at me like I was an idiot. He's like, no, we don't do that here, but I'll show you what we do have. And then I was introduced.
Does he sell your cigars now?
Well, they closed down right after we started, which sucked. So
what a bummer.
I know.
Still a good friend. We hope that maybe he's gonna.
Yeah, hopefully
open another lounge.
He's still looking, but I wish they were still there. But anyway, he introduced me to all the boutiques. I was smoking Espinosa and Ortega and Christoph and Room 101 and like all these brands I've never heard of. I'm like, what is this? And I was blown away. So that's how I got into it. And then
pun intended.
Yeah, blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, and then to make a long story short, like how we tied human trafficking into it, like we went to a conference in our hometown where we heard testimonies like from real survivors who have been through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we like to call them overcomers, though, because survivors
overcomers.
is like a label, which, for anything, whether it be cancer or human trafficking or whatnot, you don't want that to define you. So like overcomers, so we try to
more positive. You overcame something. But anyway, so
I like it. Yeah.
But so we just left freaking heartbroken, and they were trafficked by the time they were toddlers, from like 3 to 4 on till they were like 16, 18. So went through hell for many, many years. And then I was smoking a cigar on our back porch, this porch one night, like, wouldn't that be cool if we were trying to raise awareness for this cause, but did it, through this, just because we both like doing this.
Yeah.
It's fun. We both enjoy it.
And it's a male-dominated industry. I mean, let's be honest. There's we're the minority for sure. But I think there are more women. Yeah, there are a lot of women coming up, which I love to see awesome. Women smoking cigars. But it's a male, and primarily sex trafficking is a male-dominated,
buyers
epidemic as well. So, what better way to get into the male psyche, sport of cigar smoking, all of the things, and then we get your attention for an hour and a half. So
yeah.
So we thought cigars was just a kind of unique medium, to raise awareness for the cause, and so that's how we got into it.
So how does it work? You donate a portion of your proceeds,
right,
and to one organization, or how do you do that?
So we've done a few different organizations, but primarily we donate to Life Recaptured, which they are a nonprofit in our hometown that's building a restoration home that's going to be housing 15 women who have come out of human trafficking. And we're donating local just because we figure we want to start with local impacts, right? Whatever we do.
Yeah.
And, our hometown doesn't have a home specifically for that purpose. Like, it would be the only one here. So we really need one. And
that's the crazy part, is that there's not enough beds for, it's not just a rescue and then a week later you're good to go. This is years of therapy.
That you're trying to work through,
They've got a house right now that houses 4 women, and then the second phase, it's a 3-year-long program, and then they're with the girls for life, but it is a complete, psychological, emotional, all of that is being restored, and that just takes time. So
they used to work with abuse victims of some sort, or right? You were in that field.
I worked when I was in college. I was a law enforcement major, and I ended up working for 7 years at the local Center Against Rape and Domestic Violence. So it covered a lot of that.
I'm sure. So you're familiar. Yeah.
Incest.
Brokenness. The complete depravity and brokenness.
So I kind of know that feeling of it gets in your head, and it's can keep you awake at night. It's so horrific.
I can't even fathom.
And it's honestly, sometimes I'm not sure people get it. Like,
I don't think so.
They're like, yeah, that's child pornography. That's really horrible. But if you really saw, it is horrific. I can't think of another word. It's horrific.
And then we're like new parents. So we have a 4-year-old and an 8-month-old, and you just look at your babies and go, like, these
boy
are
and girl,
people's kids. Like, these are like sons and daughters. These are sisters and brothers, and like, this is like not.
Which no, you can't. But on that child pornography topic too, it's like I don't know why that's not addressed more. I mean, I'm sure, I know there are organizations trying to tackle it, but with America, I know we have a lot of issues, right, in the country right now.
Right.
But in my opinion, it's like we're the number one producer and consumer of child pornography. The U.S. is. We make the most of it out of any country in the world, and we consume most of it out of any country in the world. It's like why isn't that, in my opinion, on the top of the list? And then, because kids don't have a voice. That's the thing.
Right.
They can't fight. They can't protest. Like we can for things we're passionate about.
Well, because a lot of times they're being exploited by their own families.
And that's
where it's like gets so mind blowing. Is like the people that are supposed to protect them the most are the ones exploiting them, and to get into those levels, and you really have to have the task force and all of those things in place to like
more than 50% of all child trafficking cases are familial. There's a family member involved to some extent, orchestrating the trafficking. So it's invaded suburbia,
Yeah. Yeah.
Good neighborhoods where you never think was going on, it's going on.
And then too, not to jump subjects, but like people go, well, how in the heck do you get to a point where you're watching child pornography? Like what kind of sick how does that even transpire? How do you get to that place? And Justin's really passionate about like learning about pornography and how it does actually change your brain chemistry and how prolonged viewership really does. I mean, when they look at, I'm just going to kind of talk of what he's taught me, but when you look at cases of, people that have admitted to that, it's like, how did you get there? And it's like, well, I started watching pornography at like age 7 or 8. By the time I was 10 or 12, I started watching like, the rougher stuff. And then that wasn't good enough. And this, and so you just get so desensitized.
What people don't understand is, and I know we're talking a lot.
That's
okay. That's what this show is about. So
he said we didn't have to stay on topic.
No, sorry.
No, this is so important. So,
well, it's just with pornography today, I know it's it can be a touchy subject because, you have people who are very freedom of sexual expression, and it's a platform for the First Amendment, and to a degree I understand all that. Like to a degree I kind of get it, but the other side of that coin is more and more kids are watching online porn at a younger and younger age. So I remember reading an article the other day. I think they're starting to see 11, 12 years old now is kind of where it's starting. May even be younger.
It is younger. Yeah,
but the thing is, like when we were younger, like if we wanted to watch porn, Ron White, he did a bit on this too. He's like, you got to go to your uncle's house. You got to find, Playboy
stack of Playboys. Yeah.
Yeah. If they do have VHS, you're lucky, and you gotta like really earn it and work for it. Now you can just go on Google, and a kid who's like starting, to feel the effects of his hormones or whatever.
Yeah.
What's he gonna type in the search bar? Like he's gonna type in like naked girl or or whatever. But then he's gonna click search, and he's gonna get directed right to these huge platforms that are showing the most hardcore content that his mind just isn't ready for. You know what I mean? His mind is just not ready for that. So you're starting at a really young age and watching really aggressive stuff. And if you get hooked on it young, it just gets more, it's harder to get off. And then you eventually want more and more extreme stuff. And then before you know it, you're an adult, and now you're trying to look for child porn because nothing else works. And that's kind of how the psychological process goes. So that's just what I'm researching. That's what I'm reading.
Yeah.
But, I always tell people, it's like, I'm not trying to take away people's right to watch porn. I just am saying, think about the issue at large. Like, I mean? Understand the whole thing. That's all. And
it's like a drug. It can be like a drug. It's addictive, and like you said, it can escalate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not to mention that a lot of the performers in pornography are being trafficked as well.
Yep.
So it's not like you're even watching necessarily like free-willing people that are, consenting to.
Yep. I talk about that all the time too. And like with my work, I dealt a lot of times with dancers or strippers. And there's this thing that people like to say to make themselves feel better, like, oh, this stripper that I like, she's totally there. She's putting herself through college. I'm sorry. That is a minuscule percent. Those women are absolutely, most of the time, those women come from situations within their own family of abuse or molestation.
Correct.
And it's a cycle that goes on and on and on. And then the guys who own the strip clubs, take advantage of them, and it just goes on and on and on.
The same demographics who are prostituted like on the street are typically the same demographics that enter the industry, you know.
And like you said, mafia and mob ties to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. Porn that, which I'm a sucker for mafia stuff. Like who doesn't?
Yeah. I know.
I mean, everyone.
The romantic side of it, yeah.
It is romanticized, right? I know. Rip Ray Liotta, man. So good. Good fellas. But anyway, yeah, it's like I remember reading by the late 70s, early 80s, about 90% of the adult entertainment industry was controlled by the mafia at that time. So it's like, and I always say, like, if you start something with a bad root, like what grows up is a bad tree. So you have an industry that's like rooted in criminal activity, criminal organizations. Like no wonder you see all these human trafficking cases within the adult entertainment industry because look how it started, So anyway, we can go on and on about this.
I know, right?
And it's like we
people were like, I thought it was about cigars.
Yeah,
are we gonna talk about cigars?
Yeah. Well, let me see. There's been a couple comments that I should point out. Somebody said, will you be sharing a link to their store to buy online? So yes, I can do that. Tell them where a good place. I mean, you have a website, so they can go.
Yeah, we mainly sell direct to consumer. That's just how we typically sell. We're
sprinkled throughout the U.S. in different shops.
We have a few B&Ms that we're in. We're trying to get more boxes.
Are you in California at all?
No. Yes. One shop. Oakland Tobacconist. And
okay, well, I'm going to be the next one. I'll be Southern California represent.
That'd be awesome. That'd be
and that's the thing. We're like husband and wife team, and he works full-time job, and then I've got two little ones. So we're like super grassroots to the max. So it is really opportunities like this to be able to, get to know you and other friends that, please spread the word. And, like I said, we really pride ourselves on the fact that they're good tasting cigars. I know that you wouldn't smoke something that you didn't think was good.
No, I wouldn't promote it either.
Sometimes I'd be like, oh, that's not as good.
Yeah.
But, we want to have great cigars first and foremost. And then, obviously if people like them, then it's great to have repeat customers for sure. So,
yeah. Yeah, so I see my friend Kyle is on here. He has a couple shows, like a podcast and a couple shows, but he has a show called Dad Smoking Cigars where he reviews cigars. And I gave him some of your cigars. So he said on here.
He did a Brothers Keeper review, I think.
Yeah.
That was awesome too. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Listening. Cool. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So every once in a while I send him cigars like, you got to try this. And so I guess said he has me to thank. I probably gave it to him. Maybe he bought it, but
we were learning when we put out that one. That was our first stick. When we switched manufacturers, that was our first stick from our new manufacturer.
And we're working with a manufacturer who a lot of people know and respect, which is always great. Cordoba Morales is.
A lot of people don't know them though.
A lot of people don't. Well, they've been around for about 100 years. So.
Their tobacco roots go back to 1906.
Yeah.
And the family, but the company didn't get started until pretty early on. I think it was 2012, I believe, or 2011. So fairly new company.
Yeah.
But the family has been, growing and cultivating and knowing tobacco for a long time.
Which is helpful. We're not just a fly-by-night, guy. We're just sticking a label on something. We want to make sure it's really high quality and really good. Got good feet and stuff. So I'm going to try to get this.
And so how many cigars do you have?
Currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the portfolio now.
Okay. So I think the fifth or the latest one I have not had.
Not your granddaddy's Connie.
The Connecticut. Yeah. Yeah, that was and that's honestly a stronger Connecticut. I feel the pepper on the retro so good.
Okay.
Cigar, so I wouldn't say it's mild anyways. It's an easy medium. It's an easy medium.
Okay.
But Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, binder from Jalapa, filler from Esteli Condega in Jalapa for that. And I know not your granddaddy's Connie is a term that's like thrown loosely around the industry. It's common, and I didn't know this. Like when I heard it, like I heard it.
Me too. I heard it a couple times. I was like, "What the hell?"
I know. Earlier a year ago,
I had to look it up.
You know, Shirtless Mike. On
yes.
Instagram? Okay, so he's local, by the way. He's like, he's in our town. But anyway, I heard it from him. Like he smoked a cigar and said, "This is not your granddaddy's Connie." And then I'm like, all right, well, that's gonna be the cigar then, I guess.
But in the backstory, actually behind that is his grandpa, Papa Mike, God rest his soul in heaven. You guys smoked Macanudos together, and that was like his jam, right? Was Macanudos, and so it really is a caricature of him on the label. And so that's what makes it even more.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that, know, that would be probably his graduation if he was here. He would be really thrilled to move on up to more flavorful cigars.
So it was your passion to kind of work against human trafficking that brought you into cigars. So when you decided to do cigars, what's the very first thing you do? Like, what's the very first thing you do? Like, book a plane ticket.
You make a really shitty business card, and then you send, as he would refer to, and I'm like, thank you, that was me. And then you send him down to the Great Smoke in Miami. And
okay.
Yeah, I went down there in 2018, and with my really shitty business card, and then I there was like 45 different manufacturers there, And I talked to every single one of them because I really wanted to get and 3 of them gave me the time of day, So one of them was like the one that actually put out our first cigar. That was Blanco Cigars, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he put out our first cigar. He really liked us. He's very big into supporting the military and whatnot. He's still in the National Guard, I believe. But anyway, he really liked the idea of raising awareness for human trafficking. So he put out our first cigar, in which I still to this day don't think that was a bad cigar, but we just know a little more now than we did back then. We were really trying to,
I think that's a natural progression, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure even Rocky Patel probably looks back at his first cigar and goes, "Ooh."
Right. You
pull that from the shelf.
Yeah. And Blanco, he's good people, man. And he gave us a shot. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be right here. So, And then slowly but surely, I met Z from Cordoba Morales at my local shop I mentioned earlier. He was really good friends with the owner there. Mm-hmm. And I gave him the cigar, told him our concept, what we wanted to do. And he was like, this is not a bad cigar that he smoked, that I gave him, but he's like, but I would like a shot at, I want to put something out for you. It's basically, he gave us a chance to. And then when I tried his stuff, it just resonated. That didn't really resonate with Blanco. I just felt like the relationship, we hit it off really, really good. And the fact that he's super close too. He's only 45 minutes away. He's in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And, David was like 3 hours away. So it's hard to have the relationship, to keep it.
You could go down, you could go to his warehouse and,
he's hop, skipping and jumping away. So he's right there. So it just made more sense, to go with Cordoba. But we still have love for Blanco. He's a great guy, but yeah. So. And
then from there, Justin really got the logo going. And, we kind of are still, obviously we're still learning a lot, as you know. It's a continuous learning process.
Of course.
But, and then he was doing everything from the sales tax to the this and the licensing and all the things. There's so many facets.
Right.
We didn't know what the heck we were doing when we got into it. We were just like, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. And then it's like, whoa, this is like a lot of work.
Oh, wait, I need a tobacco license? Oh.
That sounds like me. I'm like, what? I need to do this and that and this. Oh my God, there's so many licenses and red tape and
so everybody thinks it's like so easy, just slap a label on something. It's like, oh no. Like there's so many things, but
and there's day-to-day work and
So I guess I was kind of, and I got pregnant during that, so I was not smoking cigars, but I was supporting him, and we were having to put labels on the cigars ourselves, glue them on there from the beginning, and Justin would stay up and do that, and now I still pack the boxes and send them out, and make the 6-pack.
Nice.
And so we're still small, but we're definitely
true husband and wife team.
We're mighty.
Yeah.
We graduated our humidor from like one that held like 600 cigars to now 6,000. So
8,000.
8,000. So
anyway,
yeah, it's
see, that's what I love about the boutiques too. It's like, I don't know, you get that passion to put out a stick and do all that work. It comes through in the cigar, I believe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and it's like you can get a bad stick or something and call a company and they'll be like, oh yeah, whatever. I have a boutique cigar in here, and I had some customers order boxes.
Yeah.
And it turned out that I had a draw issue, like every third or fourth one of mine, and I got a hold of the guy, and he was just like, that is not okay. Like, he talked to his roller. He was like, I'm sending out new boxes to everybody. Like, he was on it, I mean, you could tell that it upset him, and he really cared, and he made it right. And we got new boxes, and they're back to being perfect.
Yeah. I mean, a hand-rolled cigar. It is hand-rolled.
Yeah.
So everything in life is perfect. However, we really do. You pride yourself on having a good, solid product because, sometimes you do only get one shot with somebody and they go, well, but you want everybody to have a great experience. And so, at least we have the quality control to go, we know somebody who can help you. Hey, we'll send you another one or whatever. So
who designed your bands?
Justin,
the artwork.
Justin, that we use.
Wow.
We use a company, and it's really cool. I won't give away like all of our trade secrets. We'll talk offline if you. But
right.
Yeah, we use this company that you could kind of obviously give them kind of what you're thinking, and then they have designers from all over the world that submit artwork and like basis of what you're looking for. And so we kind of have.
Oh, that's cool.
And you just keep tweaking it, and Justin's really done a fantastic job marketing. We're both organizational communication backgrounds, but he really did a stellar job with all the branding and stuff. And so I'm really proud of him on that front.
Yeah, the website is being redesigned now too, so we're tweaking some things, but still, you're always growing. But anyway, it's fun.
But and it's like for websites, like we can keep building on that, but the cigars are still the meat, and whether you have the best website in the world or not, if you have good cigars, people
that's all that matters. That's literally all that matters,
right?
Which I've said this from the get-go too. It's like it doesn't matter how good your mission is or your cause is. If you put out a product that sucks, no one's going to care about your mission. Like, no one cares, so
they'd rather just give you money for the mission instead of buying your
crappy cigar, So really make sure the product's on key. So
we're kind of going back to the people we support. We've also supported like international companies as well. We went on a couple of years ago, actually in 2020, we went on a hike in the Enchantments. You're from, I think you said Portland. So we did the Enchantments one day, 25 miles. We raised a bunch of money and awareness for that. So we definitely have a good partnership with Rescue Freedom, and then Exodus Prize, another one that's international as well. So we support on several levels, but Life Recaptured is the one locally that we.
I think it's neat too, because every once in a while you guys put out the donation that you're forwarding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So people can kind of really see that.
Right.
And it's how easy for people. All they have to do is smoke a delicious cigar. I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah. And I mean, we're, it's still like a really expensive hobby for us right now. Like, but we're, at the end of the day, we said we were donating. And so we do. And like, that no matter what comes through, that's always going to be, I locked it. So I locked the door. I locked us out so our 4-year-old wouldn't come out. So we try to be really transparent with that because it's we want to, deceive anybody. We want to give more. So the more we buy, the more we give. And then we try to give personally too, out of our own, outside of the business. We're involved, hands and feet, and I do other fundraisers and things as well. So,
I'm sure you get pulled into it, and it's like you're so passionate about it. You want to do more than you can usually.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, I want to do more, but in reality,
right.
You gotta keep the lights on behind you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta put food on the table, But no, it's fun. We wouldn't have it any other way though. Like I'm sure we could have done this a little more efficiently, looking back, but we are where we are, and
well, they say a lot of brands go away after like 2-3 years. They don't even make it. So we're like, we're solid, we're strong. We're not going to give up.
And you added another cigar. When did you add the 5th one? How long has it been?
That was last year. I put
okay.
That funny. Yeah. And that's the other thing too. It's like, well, I really don't smoke a lot of Connecticut, so I originally didn't want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were working on it, and I don't know, it just hit me. So I'm like, well, we might as well put out something.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy because the whole industry, as you know, the whole limited edition craze is taking off with companies. I feel like a new cigar comes out every friggin' week,
Yeah.
It's like people are always chasing the newest, hottest, coolest.
Yeah.
Thing, and we just don't have the resources to do that, We just don't. So, I mean, we're building slow. We hope that, this will continue to last and, make an impact. And
the price points are good too. I feel like people could, have that as like not maybe an everyday smoke, but it's certainly not, it's affordable, but yet a really good cigar where, it's not a stretch, but at the same time, like they're affordable, $11 a stick is pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So we would love to be in your shop is what we're saying.
Oh yeah. Definitely, we will talk about it. I have a small humidor, but it just got bigger. I just got another humidor. It's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Pretty much outgrown that one now. So I'm working on. I have this beautiful old armoire in here that's owned by the guy who owns the barbershop, and we are converting that into a humidor. So,
cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
Well, we've been working on boxes. Boxes have been such a pain, especially since COVID. So now we've got boxes that are coming out that are really, really awesome. Really nice.
Boxes are quite an expense, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. Wow. I was talking to somebody recently, and they're like, dang, they're expensive.
No, it's when we sell the brick and mortars. I always tell them, keep them. Don't throw them away. Don't give them to anybody, because we just want to give you cigars after that, not have to keep any boxes with the cigars,
Yeah. And that's what I do have one cigar where they just the box is so expensive that they just are giving it to me to display cigars. So then they just refill it with bundles.
Yeah, that's our.
And
that's
also to me, it's less waste. It's a much better green way to go about cigars. Why do we have to have a new box every time? Some of these boxes I get in are so beautiful, and I'm like, I can't throw it away. And what do you can only use so many boxes. And I've often thought I might try it when I restock some of these. I might just say, I don't need a new box. Can you just send me a bundle and see what they say? I don't know why we can't start doing that.
And eventually Justin would love to be making cigar box guitars, and I'd love to see more cigar box purses and stuff, down the road sometime. We'd love to recycle all these cool boxes, but right now that's, a dream. It's good to have dreams.
Yeah. For me, they just stack up. But a lot of times people come in and say, can I have some boxes? I'm like, yes.
Yeah. No, that's cool. But I just think it's so great that you have your own shop. I mean, because you got into cigars. I mean, we started following each other we both were kind of starting at the same time, at least on social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've only been smoking about 5 years, I'd say.
5 years. Okay. Yeah. It's like you were one of we connected pretty early on.
Yeah.
You and me. And so look at you. Now you started there, and now you have your own cigar lounge. Like,
I know, it's kind of crazy.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Only 5 years.
I pinch myself like it's pretty great. I can't think of a better job. What's really nice, like there's just cool things about the cigar community. There's a lot of them, but for me, like with the lounge, it's like I have a couple guys who live right around here, like within a couple block radius, and they didn't know each other.
Yeah.
And now they come in here, and a couple of them are planning a fishing trip together, and people will come in the lounge, and I have like little vignettes of seating. And so there'll be like 3 separate people, and then pretty soon they're talking to each other, then they're turning their chairs, then they're like exchanging Instagram,
Yes. I feel a field trip coming out. I want to
It's the coolest thing. Like that's
we want to come to Sinners for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we do a monthly cigar event, a sip and smoke that we've been doing for 3 years now, and that's really in our community how we've always said, like, what a cool idea is just to bring people together, like you said. And so every first Thursday, this really upscale gastropub in our area opens up this beautiful back patio seating, and they let everybody smoke, and we come out and bring our cigars, and
that's great.
Friends, and it's like we look forward to seeing like our friends every first Thursday, and it's a gamut from people that are like my parents' age all the way to like brand new smokers that are like early 20s that like I just started smoking cigars, and they're like meshing, and it's great.
I know, isn't that great? That's the greatest thing. That's the cool thing about cigars and bringing people together. And that's why I think it's such a great platform for you guys to kind of discuss the ugly issue of
we do trafficking. We do like to have fun. We are pretty, generally speaking, I mean, Justin's pretty deep. I wouldn't say I'm shallow, but we like to have fun. And so it's kind of nice to be able to have both, to be like, hey, we like to have fun, but we also really have this super serious topic as well. And I've been at these events, and I've turned from having a conversation to a guy about, hey, what can I do to help? And I was like, hey, when your kids get a little older, start watching social media, you need to really But then I said, but you can also quit watching porn. And he was like, huh? And so we're just like, and then, 10 minutes later, he's like,
then the conversation gets real awkward.
But he's a young guy. He had no idea. And so then I was like, hey, I know this is super deep. I'll give you Justin's number if you want to talk later. But he was like, I had no idea. And so it just kind of turned on the light bulb. And then he went back and had a drink and kept smoking. But it's like, just those 1 or 2 3-minute conversations could really just change someone's whole interpretation. And that's like, that was everything. And that was like the best part of my night was like, I got to have that quick conversation. And now he's going to look at that differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. That's part of it. So,
yeah. And I mean, I think that, it's one thing that you guys donate a part of your proceeds, but a big part of what you're doing is spreading the word.
Right.
It's educating.
That counts for a lot. Just bringing it up, talking about it, getting it out there. So people are kind of like, huh, what? And then they
exactly. And
they listen, they talk about it, they ask somebody about it.
It's like you're one of the ones probably that listen the most, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Whenever I tell people about your cigars, I'm like, and they donate a part, and then I get into the whole thing. I love that there are, cigar companies that have passions and that are paying things forward, like the Cigars for Warriors. I mean, there's, it's just, I think because cigars are about our social and about community, it's a great way to spread information and help one another.
And the cigar community really is generally like a really good group of people. I mean, and it's really hard to be in a bad mood when you're coming out to like hang out and smoke a cigar. You don't really meet that many jerks. Like they're really
I really have not. I mean,
Like it's I mean,
people often ask me like, I bet you get all these weird messages and stuff. I really don't. Like,
it's good.
Most people are very, very polite. They might come out and ask me something, but they're polite about it, and I'm like, no, thank you. And then they're like, okay, sorry, I hope I didn't offend you. No, no offense taken. They're very polite about it.
No, that's good.
I've just found for the most part, it's a really the average cigar smoker is kind of a different person, and it seems like they're able to kind of put their politics aside and kind of have a conversation with people, even if they know that you're,
yes,
everybody knows that I'm like a liberal freak.
Sure.
And so even my friends in Texas like me.
That's all that matters. It's like,
and sometimes they ask me questions, like when I'm on their show or something, they'll be like, okay, this is bugging me. Like, how do you feel about it? How would you explain it to me? And so, I think it's nice that we're just all able to come together on this right here. Just kind of levels the playing field. Yeah. Everybody's polite and
it's the coolest thing. It really is. And I agree.
Yeah.
So many different walks of life, different beliefs. Yeah. We've had people too, flat out people like, look, I don't really agree with you on this, especially with porn. Like some people will get very defensive. I'm like, dude, like, I get it. Like I respect your position, yada, yada, yada. We don't
really want to we want to give you information, and what you choose to do with it is really like your conviction level is not for us to try to be right, but it's to give you information. And a lot of it is science that I don't need to convince you of that, but hey, at least I can sleep better at night knowing that at least you have information,
it's all good. And I feel like I remember hearing someone say this. It was like, the point of good conversation, which a good cigar typically brings up good conversation, right? When you're with community, it's like agreement should not be the goal, but understanding should be the goal. Like, we can disagree with each other completely, but as long as we understand where each other are coming from, it's like I don't see why we can't hang out and get along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And even if somebody doesn't agree at that moment, it's still something that they might think about, and you never know when something could happen and that would change for them. And they'd be like, oh, if something happens to you, like your niece suddenly disappears, you might look at things a little differently and be like, I remember this conversation I had about,
Yeah.
So it's just the more we talk and the more we converse and the more we listen to each other, especially those with different opinions, the better people we are, the easier it is to make our own decisions and all of that.
It's healthy.
That's
how it should be.
It is. Exactly.
We're human beings. We're all one human race, and this affects human beings at a core level. So we all can relate on that. Like you all have a sister or a mom or a niece or a nephew and stuff. So
it's funny, on the topic too, even though we're just talking about politics, but it's like the issue with human trafficking and even the adult entertainment industry and the obscenity laws and all that stuff. It's like, it's actually something I feel like both sides could actually agree upon, as far as, you do see, the religious right, get onto it for their reasons, but then you also see a good portion of the feminist left get on that topic too for their reasons. But it's whatever your reason is, okay, cool. As long as you can both work on the issue together, that's all that matters,
Yeah.
So, I think it's great, from whatever standpoint you want to come from, both meet in the middle. I don't know.
As long as you like cigars, then
who cares?
We got some worry. Then we're all in it.
Well, I'm no stranger to, I get, what do I call it? I don't want to say attacked. I've gotten a lot of pushback because my pictures are so sexy. And so I do, and people want to know what that has to do with cigars. And I've had that discussion a lot.
We've got asked that too. Like, what does porn, human trafficking have to do with cigars? Why do you keep talking about that? Like, anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my Instagram is my self-expression, and
that's like, now that I've got your attention,
kind of.
Well,
and also, I think for me, I didn't give up. The more people push at me, the more I keep doing it, because I'm like, just because I have sexy pictures does not mean I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Sure.
I know cigars, and my Instagram is artistic. My photos are artistic. I think they're classy.
Yeah.
And I will go toe to toe with anybody, anytime, and talk about cigars. Like,
that's awesome.
You think I don't know what I'm talking about? Like,
right.
Ask me a question, you know?
And
so from that standpoint, I am kind of like, and I see women get attacked for different things on their Instagram. And it's kind of like, you don't get to define the way people run their Instagram. If they want to be in a bikini every time they have a cigar, so what? You don't like it, don't look at it. But of course, I think pornography is in a whole nother level.
Yeah.
As a society, though, we're definitely like in a place where, like, it's just, it's normal. It is normal. It really is. I mean, like, even just from like TV and it's almost like, I feel like the pictures you do and stuff, like, that's not even anything that's like, oh, okay, but like there are definitely some pages that I would say are borderline soft porn. Not yours is not, but like there are some that I'm like, oh, I even had to click off just because I'm like, wow, that really is like, I couldn't find the cigar and picture at all. But like, we're in a society where
I couldn't find the cigar in the picture, is how you said.
I couldn't find it. I was like, I don't know where the girl had the cigar, but it was not anywhere than the picture that I could see.
Right.
But, but sometimes, there are definitely there are people that toe the line, and then there are people that are doing classy things. And I think that there's definitely a huge difference, for sure.
Yeah.
People who are cigar smokers, they can smell it. They can smell who's real. They can smell who's just trying to sell whatever or get more likes or whatever.
Yeah.
We can smell that stuff, and you don't fit that category.
I think that's true too. I think that I wouldn't be where I am today in 4.5, 5 years if I didn't know what I was talking about. And
right.
And cigars are sexy. I don't know. I say it all the time. They're sexy.
Well, they are. They are.
They're sensual in a way,
Yeah.
When my wife smokes a cigar.
See? I know.
Back porch,
nothing turns you on more.
And she's wearing nothing but a robe, and I'm like,
see? Right.
Let's smoke this and get out of that robe. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
It's good bonding for sure. It's definitely brought us closer together. It's like the one time that we do stop and actually like have probably meaningful conversations, because life is just crazy. But when you smoke a cigar, you have to kind of stop and like take a deep breath and, just enjoy
And
it.
even if you don't do it consciously, do you find that like when you're smoking a cigar, you just kind of...
Yes.
It just relaxes you. Like,
he smokes more than I do. I mean, he usually smokes like every morning before work.
Morning is preferable now for me. I used to smoke in the evening, but I'm doing this whole stupid 5 a.m. workout thing because
oh yeah,
I'm an idiot. I don't know. I don't recommend it to anybody.
That's the only time you can go. I mean,
it's the only time you can go, But anyway, after that, man, have a nice breakfast and a cup of coffee, and I'm ready to smoke anything at that point. It's like, let's go, Get 2 hours before work, and it's like, let's do it, And
I, on the other hand, have to pump and dump, so I haven't got a chance to smoke as much this year, but like I definitely make time, and it's our special time to,
yeah.
So.
It's cool to raise kids around cigars. Our son, he's really, he comes in, my office, and he's looking at the humidor, and he's like, I love your cigars, Dad. I love your cigars. Like it's a kid. So it's like we're raising a cigar family,
Yeah.
But it's all good. Like you said, so many different walks of life, so many different perspectives.
Yeah, I try not to be judgmental. I just feel like people can it's like what you said. You can't change people's convictions. You can discuss things, and I don't see why people find that odd that you would be following this passion with cigars. I mean, people are supporting the military or veterans and with cigars, and what does that have to do with cigars? So, and it's like you get to bring whatever you want into your cigar world. So
people can find judgment anywhere. You can find judgment anywhere. So it's just like when you're coming in, it's just a good vibe. Good vibe all around.
What are you smoking right now?
I'm smoking a Monte Cristo White Series.
Oh, nice.
That was the first cigars that I smoked. That was like
really.
Sorry, when I met him, I was like, "Yeah, I've only smoked like Monte Cristo Whites, and like that's a great cigar." But
It's a good cigar.
Yeah. So that was.
I end up, now that I have this place, I end up smoking so many cigars in one day that usually towards the end of the day, I'm smoking something a little lighter. Like most people will start out with a light cigar as the day goes by, and then they'll smoke something heavier around dinner time. Well, for me, since I'm smoking 3 to 4 in a day, I start stronger and go lighter.
Right.
Like, by the time I'm on my 4th one, I'm like, because people come in, they want me to smoke with them. So when people aren't here, I try not to smoke.
Right.
I save it, So then if it's going to be my last stick of the day or something, I don't want something strong.
You're buzzing off the Ligero right from the get-go,
Like, yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go do that pump and dump thing, but
okay.
I'm gonna leave Justin, and I look forward to hopefully coming out to your lounge sometime and getting to know you better, and obviously supporting what you're doing. So thank you.
Yeah, it'd be great. So if you guys do come out, we should totally do a whole bring your cigars. We'll do a cigar event.
Yeah, it'd be so.
We'll do a sip and smoke event here.
Yes, cool. yes. So you keep talking, and I will say thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. It's so great to get to talk to you.
Thank you.
That's just great. You guys are a great team. It's amazing.
Thanks, Paul. So, we think you're great too. And thank you.
How long have you been married?
Coming up 6 years. 6 years coming up. 6 years. Yeah. So not that long, but
almost as long as the cigar career.
Yeah. I mean, we started this right after she got pregnant, So maybe not the best timing.
Right. But, not for her. Yeah,
not for her. But she's a trooper though. She was so supportive, and I'm blessed to be married to somebody who enjoys this,
Yeah.
A lot of people, it's not the case for a lot of couples.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know. So it's great. But yeah, while she was pregnant, I definitely remember coming back from the lounge, and she could not handle.
Oh, the smell?
No, not at all. So, I had to change in the laundry room and just get naked before I could enter the bedroom.
Yeah.
I couldn't. But yeah. She's been ride or die throughout the whole thing, which has been great. So it puts more pressure on me to perform. It's like, all right, we really have to turn this into something then. So but it's cool. It's all good, And it's as long as you're having fun doing it. I remember someone said this the other day. Even if we were to stop doing this for whatever reason, just life, it's I don't even look at that as a failure, even if that did happen. It's we were having
look at how much you've done. Yeah.
We're having fun. We're spreading awareness and education for something that's convicting our hearts. And, that's a win-win for me at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
We, and we don't plan on quitting by any means, but, it's just nice to look at it as a win-win situation.
Yeah. Well, since I forgot your cigars and I don't have them with me, I will smoke them and post, and then I'll post the hotline number, and then also your website, and
cool.
And then we'll work on getting cigars in here, and
that'd be great, Paula.
That'd
be awesome. We'd love to support you guys too.
Do
you guys sell online or do you guys have?
No, I don't have that kind of. I don't know if I'm going to have that kind of license.
Okay.
I'm getting my own license, so now I'm not sure. I think to sell online, you have to have a distributor's license. Okay. And my license is a tobacco license and permit to sell at this location.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. But there's ways around everything.
Ways around everything. If you want to.
There's a way. I'll find it.
It's like, yeah, I know. What was I going to say? I know a lot of brick and mortars now are starting to navigate online. I've been seeing that trend kind of take place, probably especially during COVID. That was really happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, just another avenue. So.
Yeah, might have to happen with all the stuff here in California, the crazy tax and. They care so much about our health that they care more than we do. Apparently.
Hey, but it's a beautiful place to live, though.
It really is. I love it here. It is expensive, but a bunch of us talk about it. It's like it's expensive, but then you're getting what you pay for, kind of. Like I can't imagine moving to Montana. Sorry, people who live in Montana, but like that's just not my scene.
Yeah.
Like the beach, the sun, I don't want cold winters,
Right. Yeah.
So it is really nice. And there's just a lot of history here and a lot of beautiful things. And people need to not concentrate on the negative. And how the media paints certain places in a certain light. And
until you meet the people there, until you actually go there, and then it's like, oh,
yeah,
it's really not that horrible. It's actually really nice. It's like,
exactly. And I find the people here really friendly and I've had a great time. So I really like it, but
that's cool, Paula.
I think what we need to do now as a state is just work on, politically work on trying to separate the cigar industry, move it out of cigarettes and vape and all that. Because as far as health risks, it's on a whole different plane. And as far as selling to kids, it's on a whole different plane. Kids are not going to buy cigars.
I don't even know how the FDA thinks they have any kind of, leverage on premium handmade cigars when you do compare the ingredients. It pisses me off to know how stupid some of these people are. But no chemical additives in this. None. Bilge. It's pure unadulterated tobacco. And I remember reading one study, this was like a year or two ago, but the FDA was trying to produce a report at some time, a couple of years back, to really push more forward the regulations, which they're still doing now. But at the end of that reporting, I guess they didn't even produce the material because they found that the findings were not significant enough to report because they couldn't find really any dirt. This, it's like, well, you're not gonna. And it's.
I think that's what I tell people too. That like with cigarettes, there's so much chemicals in the filter. And in the cigar and stuff, and you just don't have that in the filter and in the cigarette, but you just don't have that with cigars. And, you're not most people don't inhale. I guess every once in a while I meet somebody that's like, I inhale all the time. But
well, technically, if you retro, right, I guess you are technically inhaling a little bit if you're retro.
I don't know if it's going in your lungs though, because the whole point is to do it through your nose.
Right.
So I don't know if any actually gets in your lungs.
I retrohale all the time, and I don't feel it going in my lungs. But whatever. If it does, I'm not worried about it. So it's like, it is what it is. But I don't know. We'll see where all that stuff goes, I guess.
People have all kinds of vices, and some are more harmful than others. And we just need to get ourselves out from being lumped in with cigarettes.
For sure.
So
absolutely. I know.
Yeah, so, we've got a ballot, or we've got something coming up on our November ballot about the flavored cigars.
So
they had passed it, I think, in January, and it got challenged or something, so they haven't implemented it yet. But it was going to remove all flavored cigars.
Flavored stuff, yeah.
So it's challenged enough that it's back on the ballot. So
back on the ballot.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Out of all the things to regulate, I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
We'll make this one, please.
Yeah. Maybe if they spent more of that time on human trafficking.
Yeah.
A little bit more done. Yeah.
Know.
So
it's nuts, but hey.
Well, I have a lot of respect for you for the quality cigars that you're putting out, and then
thanks, Paula.
Just your work on the side for something you're passionate about, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Thank you. We really appreciate the support, and you know, we want to support you too. And you're really passionate. You know, we can tell that too. You know, you really enjoy this. You're really about this. You know, so keep it up.
Yep.
Cool. The cigar community is growing. You know,
I got some challenges with the club here, but I'm not giving up. So
don't give up.
And they're gonna have to haul me out of here on a stretcher.
That's right. That's the attitude.
Right.
Prisoners. That's right.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
Okay, well, I will, like I said, I'll make some posts so everybody knows where to go to buy your cigars, and
thank you.
I'll do a little review on the ones I have again.
Yeah, you have Sino Evil, right?
Evil?
You have Sino
I have they're either both Sino Evil or one is one might be the Say No Evil. I don't have any more of the Brothers Keeper. I had a couple of those, but yeah.
Yeah. The See No Evil, I always go between that and the Speak No Evil is my two. I mean, I guess it just depends on the time of day or whatever. But
I think the See No Evil is my favorite.
I think, I always go back to that one. I mean,
but I like the Brothers Keeper too.
Brothers Keeper, you know, at the time, there's not a lot of transition, you know, in that blend when you smoke it. It's pretty consistent, you know, throughout the whole duration of the cigar. And, you know, a lot of people do like the transitions. I personally don't really care if a cigar transitions.
I don't either.
Or not, you know, as long as it tastes good, that's all I really care about. But yeah, I think at the time too, like both our palates, Crystal and I's, have progressed significantly.
Since
Brothers Keeper. And it's funny, like you go back to a cigar you used to love, and it's like, oh, it doesn't have the same effect on you as it did, you know, a few years ago, you know. But
and I smoke much stronger cigars now than I used to.
Yeah.
Like, we more full bodied. Like I now want a little bit more flavor, more complexity, I guess. But
we do too. We do too.
But I know my cigar that I had you try, it doesn't transition either. It just stays the same, and I kind of like that.
But it's consistent and it tastes well. And I can't remember. I didn't get a lot of like. Is there any Ligero in that cigar? It was mainly Seco. Like a lot.
Yeah, it's all Seco.
It's all Seco. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it tasted. I thought it tasted great. The draw was good. It burned nice. I mean, it was a good cigar. You know, it was worthy to put out. You know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's just. I feel like now the community, there's almost demand for more stronger stuff. At least that's what I'm seeing, you know. But so again, that's fine as long as the flavor's there. I always go for flavor before strength. But this next cigar, I'll tell you, we're working on one now. It's going to be our first limited, I guess. And we're going to be putting 3 Ligero leaves in there, you know, so this is going to have some kick for sure. Yeah. But that's the thing. We can get, you know, we can master the strength, but it's just balancing that flavor, you know. So we're still working on that now. We've gone through multiple samples, and you know, it's kind
of like, for me, it's kind of like salsa or hot sauce. If it's too strong, you sometimes lose those subtle notes. And that's also kind of what I like a cigar that maybe doesn't transition or only transitions slightly is
Right.
I really want to get those notes out of there. And if it's like a high nicotine or something, sometimes you lose that. So
you do. No, you definitely do. You definitely do. And what was I gonna say? And that your cigar again, that was a Puro. It was a Puro. Robin Puro. That's cool. I love Jalapa. Like everything that comes out of Jalapa is just amazing. But yeah, so this isn't gonna be I take that back. So the wrapper for our blend, it's Matafina. So we're doing a Brazilian wrapper. This one, a dark Brazilian. And the binders and fillers we're still kind of playing with, but probably the binder is going to be from Jalapa, fillers from Condega, Jalapa, and Esteli. And that's kind of
glad you told me about the Montefina. I cannot smoke that.
No,
I
maybe you can smoke ours. Maybe we'll try.
I had a couple cigars that has had it in it, and I get violently sick. I absolutely vomit before I'm even done halfway through the cigar. It's almost like I'm allergic to it.
No way. Really? Well, someone said that actually the owner of Paradise Cigar, he's the shop I mentioned earlier. He's that way with Sumatras. So he couldn't do our Speak No Evil. He's like, and I love, he actually said, he's like, I think Sumatra, he likes Sumatra, but every time he smokes one, his like throat kind of closes up and like something just happens and oh
my God, I start sweating and it's the same thing. It's like my throat closes up. I immediately get nauseous and I start vomiting. It's like whatever is leaked into my body, it just wants to get rid. It's terrible. And one time I got sick on a cigar and I was like, I can't figure out why. And then we were talking and somebody said it has Montefina and I was like, okay, I'm starting to put this together.
Damn.
So,
damn.
I know. I might have to smoke all of yours, but that one.
No, right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. But you know,
I don't have to smoke everything I have though. I can still, other people can enjoy it. So it's weird though. Very weird.
Wrappers affects everyone differently, I guess.
Yeah.
The Habanos, I think we did play around with some Habanos, and that actually a tougher wrapper than you think. That wrapper tends to dominate the blend.
Yeah, I could see that.
It definitely tends to dominate. So you really have to be strategic as far as, the binder and the fillers go. But I would like to put out another Habano again, and probably I think what we're going to do is redo Brothers Keeper. It's going to be a Habano, but just completely different. I'll let you know.
I think my two favorite wrappers are like when they're Ecuadorian. I almost always like it, and the San Andreas.
San Andreas.
I love that. Has that nice little bite.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I love San Andreas. When you get the spice and the pepper, and it's great.
Yeah,
it's a great pepper to work with for sure.
Yeah, if you get a chance, you have to try those Casa 1910.
Casa 1910s. Okay.
So it's a Mexican Puro.
Huh.
So, and I met them at TPE, and they just were like, the number one wrapper right now is the San Andreas, and so if we can grow the number one wrapper, why can't we grow the tobacco to make an entire cigar? And so they came out with this cigar. I think they're coming out with another one, but right now the one that's out is delicious. I think you'd enjoy it.
Well, we need to try that for sure.
Yeah,
that's gonna be great. It sounds really good. I mean, let me ask you this: like, I feel like for me to get the full effect of a wrapper, I always go to Lancero. Like, if I really want to taste the wrapper, I want to find it in a Lancero. If they have it. Like, that's just, to me, I get the full effect of the wrapper with that Vitola specifically. So we actually have a Lancero now with the blend we're working on, and I just really want to taste the wrapper, before going forward. So that's kind of what we're starting to do. I'm like, Z, let's make a Lancero out of this, and figure out how we can go from here. But I need to know what this wrapper truly tastes like.
Yeah, Lanceros are kind of they're kind of popular right now. All of a sudden,
yeah, they are. They weren't that long ago.
Yeah,
they're making a comeback. I know.
I just don't care for them. To me, they just are. I don't like the way they feel in my mouth. I can't get past it.
Yeah, I know.
It's like it starts feeling like a cigarette or something to me. I don't know.
To me, yeah, I know. I'm not. Again, it's not a cigar that I really prefer, as far as the size goes or the Vitola goes. I love a good Robusto. I typically just
me too.
Or a Toro. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't really care for any other Vitolas personally.
Yeah.
But again, just when we were playing around and tasting different wrappers, I just get the full flavor for some reason with one.
Yeah.
That makes sense because
less filler, yeah,
and you really get to taste it. So
and they burn cooler and
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just a good gauge for us, to figure out how we're going to work.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're all learning. I always tell people it's like everyone wants to be the guru to a degree. Everyone wants to be the guy who knows everything, and we're students in this. We're not.
Yeah.
Crystal and I we learn something new every.
Oh my God, there's so much to learn, right? And it's changing all the time too. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever going to be the expert.
Yeah. There's just so much to know. But
I mean, and that's what's so cool about the boutiques, or any cigar maker. Everybody's bringing their own kind of personality and their likes into what they're producing, and that's what makes it interesting. And
right,
it just drives me crazy. These people who like, I only smoke Cubans, or I only smoke Padrones, or I only smoke these 2 cigars, and I just think, oh man, you are missing out. Like,
I know. You have people that just stay loyal to, brands or whatever because they think they're the best, and
Yeah, when people come in here and say that, I'm like, oh well, today you're gonna adventure outside your box. I try to talk about, I make them get a boutique of some kind.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I think because I'm small, I'm not interested in competing with the other lounges for Davidoff and Patel and Fuente, and which I do carry 1 or 2 once in a while, but I think because this is a unique cigar experience and it's more of an experience than a lounge, I want to have boutiques and good, interesting cigars so that when people come in, they say, whenever I go in there, she's got something I've never heard of, or something that I tried and it was so good. And a bunch of my people I've turned on to cigars, and they've ended up ordering boxes, and they've never tried them before. So
that's great.
Yeah. So I think that makes it's just a lot more fun.
It is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
You're in charge of progressing people's palates,
Yeah.
And
I like that. That's going to be my title.
Yeah. Palate progressor.
Palate progressor. I love it. Paula the palate progressor. Wow. Yeah.
It's the boutique world is just blowing up, and there's so many companies out there, and a lot of good. I don't even like to say, I guess friendly competition, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But
hopefully most of the time.
Yeah, hopefully most of the time. There's a lot of good product. That being said, there's a lot of not so good product too. So just but the cigar community is just growing. So more people are smoking these days. I think we're in the middle of the cigar boom. Before. Like bourbon's blowing up. I feel like the cigar world and the bourbon world are kind of piggybacking off each other. There's good traction going on, so, which is really cool. Do you drink bourbon?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? You like bourbon?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
It's probably my number. I used to prefer rum and then bourbon, but I think I've switched, and now I'm kind of a bourbon girl and rum. I love an old fashioned, but I will just drink bourbon on ice.
Yeah, me too. That's awesome. Yeah. I switch back. I like tequila too, believe it or not.
Ooh, that one I can't do.
Well, see, a lot of people, like when I think tequila and cigars, it doesn't sound like a good relationship, right? But have you ever had an extra añejo? Okay, so you have. Okay.
Yes.
There are some amazing extra añejo tequilas out there that they're dark like a bourbon. It looks like a bourbon, but man, I don't know.
And I always think that whatever liquor comes from the land where the tobacco comes from, like if you're smoking a Cuban, rum must go with it.
Right.
It's just all in, right? So
Yeah.
so it's like I tell people, if you smoke the 1910, smoke or drink tequila, like it's got to go. It's from the same landform, ecosystem, you know?
I think the majority, yeah, exactly. I mean, with See No Evil, I think the majority of the posts that we did with a spirit and a cigar have been tequila. Mainly.
Yeah.
But, you know, by the way, like Ron White, the comedian, he has his own tequila called Number One, which right? But it's no joke. That tequila is so good, and I'm not just saying that just because he's a celebrity, but I remember doing some research on it, and I guess he used to drink this tequila when he would go to Mexico, and he's the one who's responsible for bringing it over to the States. You couldn't drink it in the States; it was only for the resorts over there, I guess.
Oh,
he latched onto it, thought it was, he called it the nectar of God, and then brought it over, and
cool.
It's freaking phenomenal. Expensive as hell, but it's so good. I mean, it goes down like molasses. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's one of the best liquors I've had. But anyway, so
I had a woman do a tequila tasting here at one of my ladies' night event I did. And so she's developed the tequila, and it's and then her bottles are all hand, so they're blue and white ceramic, and they're all hand done. And the women who paint them are almost all single moms.
Oh, that's cool.
And so she's like a woman-owned company, and her tequila is aged in sherry casks.
Ooh.
So it has this sweetness to it. It's definitely a sipping tequila, and it's like $225 a bottle or something. But it's like, well, you could drink that with any cigar. Like, I swear that's so good.
That's awesome. So you do like that one? Like you do like tequila. Okay.
You know, because she was like, you have to try it. And I'm like, it's not that I don't like tequila. When I drink tequila, I want to fight with somebody. Like
wild card.
It's terrible. Yeah. I just get real, like my chin goes out and I'm looking for a fight. So I don't drink it. But I was like, I'll try it. So I tried it and it was delicious. It was
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean,
like sweeter than normal. And the other thing I've noticed too is like it used to be like silver tequila you would never drink straight. Like you would just use it. But there's some delicious silver tequilas coming out that are delicious as well.
There is. I like a Bloody Maria. I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I love a Bloody Maria, man. Down like nobody's business. I mean, hey, my wife gives me shit. She's like, why are you drinking in the morning? But if I pour a Bloody Maria, it's like, oh, well, that's acceptable.
Yeah, that's breakfast food.
Yeah, it's breakfast. Yeah. Put some bacon in there, you know.
That's fine. Right. Tomato,
shrimp, you know. It's fine. I don't know. Anyway, it's fun, though. Just navigating the whole world through liquor and cigars is a journey.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But it's
that's
fun.
What we do
well,
with sipping smokes. Yeah, just a bunch of
I love what you do, and I'm so glad I finally got you on the show. I don't know why. It just dawned on me. I'm like, I've never had him on. This is ridiculous.
We're honored, Paula. We're honored. Like, seriously, this is the coolest thing, you know?
Well, I wanted to have you on before I get kicked off YouTube, because YouTube is slowly going through cigar shows and shutting them down.
So, yes. Kevin from Cigar Prop actually, I think, mentioned that the other day. I read something about that. I heard it's becoming more and more common now.
Yeah. I think I'm small enough they haven't found me yet. So I'm like, well, I'm going to do as many shows as I can before I get shut down.
Good. Yeah. Keep pushing it. Keep pushing it. Cool. Yeah.
Again, cigar haters or I don't know.
Get a life.
Yeah. I know.
Cool. Well, hey, we're going to come down to Sinners Club at some point.
That would be super cool.
And you're 16 miles from LA, you said?
Yeah. But really, when you're down here, you don't talk about miles, you talk about minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's probably a 30-minute drive from LA.
Okay.
Cool. When it's not during, high traffic, but yeah. It's like I live in Long Beach. It takes me about 25 minutes to get here. It's just straight on the freeway, easy.
Random question. Are you into, what kind of music are you into?
Kind of everything except country.
You like metal?
Yeah.
Do you? Okay.
I mean, I haven't listened to it for a long time, but one of my favorite bands used to be Queensryche.
Oh, I've heard of Queensryche.
Yeah. I think they'd be considered metal.
They're old.
The guys were trained operatically, so when they sing, it's almost like opera vocals. Yeah.
Avenged Sevenfold is one of my favorite bands, and I know they come from Southern California. So.
Oh.
Like
see, so maybe you can do like a concert. You can roll a whole bunch of things into one trip. A concert, come here, do an event. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we'd love that. We'll make a hell of a trip out of it, that's for sure. So,
yeah.
Well, Paulo, this has been really, really fun. So
yeah.
Yeah. This has been
it's been great. I can't wait to go home now and smoke your cigar. So mad I didn't bring it. Now I want to just smoke it so bad. So
it's all good.
Yeah.
All good. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks for joining us. And yeah.
I'm gonna go put the kiddos to bed.
Sounds good.
Signal.
Yep, time to go. I know we've done an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens because we're just on a roll and the show goes that long, so that's great.
Yeah, that's great. Good conversation, good dialogue.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. Super nice meeting your wife too.
Yeah, no, sure. She was stoked to be on here for sure. She actually, she made sure, because I know we were struggling finding somebody to watch the kids for a while. I let you know last minute. I'm really sorry about that. But she was adamant about it though. She's like, no, I really want to be on here. I really
that's great.
So,
cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey.
Okay. Well, we'll talk soon about getting your sticks into centers because need to do that. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Have a great evening. Okay, that's that. I'll see you next week with Casa 1910 cigars. I'll be having them back, so be sure and tune in next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time to hear about Casa 1910 cigars. And like I always say, be kind and keep chasing your stars. See you next week.